All right, give me your reaction to Andy Reid feeling sorry for Pete Carroll's Raiders. So on this one, I've got duffel bag, fish and chips, and cannonballing. And we'll combine all of these things together, and we're going to make the gabagoo. We're going to make the gabagoo. All right, so first of all, this is hideous on every level. Not from Andy Reid's perspective, from the Raiders' perspective, right? Like when Andy Reid, a division rival, I know that it's all everyone's in bed with everyone in the NFL. It's a cartel, and it's like owning a Pizza Hut, or a McDonald's or a Starbucks. You're all in the same business together. I get it. I understand. That being said, it is rather shocking to hear Andy Reid, a proud man, a Hall of Fame coach, Andy Reid, against another Hall of Fame coach, a divisional opponent, and someone who has spent almost his entire career, Andy Reid, turning the Raiders into piñatas, whether he was with the Eagles and been in Kansas City for a while, and for him to come out and say he feels bad for Pete Carroll. That's not sportsmanship. That is a pineapple. It is a pity pineapple. Here you go, Pete. Here, have some pineapple. It's a pity pineapple. Enjoy the pineapple. That is the NFL equivalent of handing out a little ribbon. You didn't win the game, you got shut out, but you had a beaten and broken roster. This is not the YMCA. It's not, and not everyone's getting the orange slices and all that. It's unnecessary. The professional football, the Chiefs, you wouldn't know it was professional football from this outcome. The Chiefs didn't just take down the Raiders a couple of notches. They murdered them. 434 yards of offense. 434 yards of offense for Kansas City. The Raiders had 95, and they got about 40 of those in garbage time late in the game. 30 first downs for Kansas City, 3. Let me repeat that for those of you in the back of the room. 30 first downs for the Chiefs, 3 for the Raiders. Geno Smith, 67 yards passing. They will teach classes in university down the line how Geno Smith was able to pull off this scam to get the Raiders to A, trade for him, and then pay him the amount of money they're paying him. One of the great hustles of our time. And that was Tom Brady that signed off on that, by the way. Don't forget that. That's Tom Brady. It was this Raider performance. It was so bad I kept turning back to it. Well, why would you turn back to it? I don't understand. The Raiders, Geno Smith, 67 yards passing, and it was a duffel bag of DWBH. Now, what does that mean? Don't want to be here. The duffel bag was don't want to be here. They felt sorry for themselves. Here's Geno Smith pointing out that, well, he says the right things. He just doesn't do the right things on the field. He's talking about all the players being out for the Raiders. Take a listen.
When I'm out there, I'm not thinking about those guys not being out there. I'm thinking about the guys, the 11 guys that we have on the field, and how do we execute together to get it done. And again, we're not getting it done right now at any phase. And whenever something looks wrong, I tell you guys all the time, put it on me, because it's not about the guys who aren't out there. It's about the guys who are, and I'm out there. And I got to make the plays, and I got to get it done.
Yeah. You are getting it done when the direct deposit hits your bank account. You're getting it done there. Wow. You realize we have seen exhibition football games in recent years, exhibition football games where the teams looked more engaged. There was such apathy around the Raiders. It is fascinating. The Raiders looked like they were on a company retreat, and they were just going to Kansas City to eat barbecue, and they were just trying to get through the PowerPoint and try to get it over with. Nobody asked any questions. That's it. And Pete Carroll, again, Hall of Fame coach, allegedly, all that stuff. Where was the scheming? Where's the pride? There was no pride. You can't roll over like that. You should never play like that. Certainly not in a divisional game against a supposed rival. And it's so bad the other team apologizes? That's the Raiders? Really? Okay, that's where the Raiders are right now. They continue to, the once proud franchise, the Raiders, who are now a punchline. Their home games are filled with fans of the other team because tickets so expensive because it's Vegas. And it's gotten so bad that the executioner, Andy Reid, is now handing out a warm blanket. Here you go. Have a nice blanket. After the damage is done, enjoy. And he wasn't trolling. I don't think Andy Reid was trolling. He wasn't smirking. He seemed dead serious. He feels bad for Pete Carroll. he feels bad because all these guys are out, and their fans calling for Pete Carroll to be fired, and you're ranting and raving as always. And there are plenty of coaches that deserve to be fired. Brian Daboll, right at the top. Mike McDaniel in Miami, right there, boom. Carroll, the way, if you just judge him off this performance and not the body of his work just this year as a Raider, it's hard to make a compelling argument that Pete Carroll should remain the coach of the Raiders. And the cherry on top of how bad things are for the Raiders is Andy Reid having a party, a pity party. You go to Chuck E. Cheese, you have some pizza, and you have some drinks, and play some video games, play some skee ball, and there you go. How low can you go? How low can you go?